Welcome to the Coaches Show here on the Spartan Digital Network as we get set to start the 2015-16 women's basketball season alongside Coach Iris Dixon. I'm Brad Seigan. Coach, big start to the season. We're getting ready to go. Things are always a little bit more exciting at this point of the year. What is the excitement level of you and your staff and really your team overall for the start of a brand new season?
Well, I think, first of all, coming in with the new assistant coach, one who brings a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement, and as well as knowledge for the game and just a passion for the game itself. And then the girls coming in with a different attitude. Looking forward to the season. We have several girls that are seniors, and this is it for them. And so, the goal is for them to put everything out there and, going forward into the season.
Coach, last season, things didn't go quite as planned, but this year, you've got the opportunity now to really turn the page. What is the one thing you've really been focusing on with your team in order to make that turnaround?
I think the main thing that we have been focusing on is doing the little things, and that's important. The team chemistry is also important. The girls learning to play with each other, knowing what each other's tendencies are and their capabilities are. But it's the little things. I like defense, and it's going to be important. In games to begin with, and in games going down the stretch, defense is going to be an important key factor for us.
Looking at your team here in 2015-16, a few changes, some newcomers coming in, some seniors, and some big key role players still on this team. Specifically more about two of your seniors, Jerica Hawkins, Taylor Klingelhafer, really leaders on offense. How are they really going to impact the season that you have? What does their success mean to this team?
Well, Taylor, of course, she's returning leading scorer from the team from last year, and so her outside shooting is going to be a factor. Jerica is coming in, since the beginning of practice. She has really stepped up her game. She has really contributed from both offensively and defensively, and so that's going to be a key factor for us as well. Everyone seems to kind of rally around those two when we are getting up and down, and it's a good thing. And that's going to be important because if we can maintain that, then it's going to be an exciting season for us.
So looking at some of the newcomers that you've had a chance to finally see them play with this team now. And with new players, you never quite know what you get until you get them into the gym and playing in your system. Who stood out in your mind as being one of those players to watch from that group?
Well, there's a couple. We have Amanda Scott who's coming in, and she's a workhorse, and she battles in there, and she gets after it. And then we also have Ariana Cook, who's a point guard, who's fast as lightning, and distributes the ball and get it down the floor. So those are going to be two key people that I think is really going to help us tremendously on the offensive end, and then take part as well from the defensive standpoint.
Looking at this team so far, coming into this year, you look again at another stacked field in the American Midwest Conference. Really tough conference to play in, and you've had a chance to see some of the best teams up close and personal every single year because the league is so powerful. How do you get the team up and ready to go against that level of talent every night?
Well, again, it's just coming in and, grinding it out, working on things, perfecting things, doing what we need to do in order to go out and compete. We need to perfect what we do best and go out there and give it everything that we got. Yes, we've been stressing, already that the conference is tough, and, we're going to have bring our A game, every single night, to compete against these teams.
Looking at this week's game, you've got one game on the schedule, but it's a doozy. I mean, you've got the number 8 ranked team in Division II in their gym, Point Lookout in College of the Ozarks. Boy, you decided to really get the team going early this season with the tough schedule. How are you approaching this game right now?
We're going into the battle. I'm not going to shy away, and I'll tell the girls not to shy away from rankings, from anything like that. I've stressed to them the tendencies of College of the Ozarks and how hard they work, and So we're preparing for that, and we're going to have to go in there and work just as hard in order to compete.
What's one thing that College of the Ozarks does that you've been really getting your team ready to prepare for?
Well, just as I said, they work extremely hard. From start to finish, they're going to work, they're going to battle, and they grind it out. And we've going to have to be prepared for that in order for us to maintain that type of game because they work extremely hard.
That's Coach Iris Dixon. I'm Brad Seigan. We will see you next week for the Spartan Coaches Show. Make sure you tune in later this week as the Spartans get their season kicked off down in Point Lookout against College of the Ozarks. Glad you could join us here on the Spartan Digital Network.